What's going on, everyone? I'm Marcos.
And I'm Paul, and we put the P
and the M
in the Hot Salsa Show.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Marcos.
And I'm Paul.
And we've got a special guest today. I am so excited. We met Tabitha out at one of the markets that we all attend. And I'm not going to go ahead and kill the introduction, but I'm going to let Tabitha introduce herself. Tabitha, what is your name and what is the company you work for?
Well, my name is Tabitha Wall. I'm one of the co-owners of Bully Brew Co. We are an 8-year-old coffee brand here in the Phoenix Valley. I've known Paul for a long, long time. He was at the very first farmers markets that we did about 8 years ago. Our kids have all been playing together at these things for years now. And then we just opened our first big brick and mortar location on the west side back in August. So It's me and my husband, and we're really blessed to be able to do those things together. But yeah, it's been an incredible ride over the last 8 years.
That is exciting. So wait a second. Let's rewind for a second. Because you just went through a lot of information really fast. We're going to go back. So you started in a farmer's market 8 years ago, met this cool guy.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just opened your first brick and mortar last year?
Yeah, last April.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. I mean, the vibe is just amazing. I mean, you got to see this place.
I've seen it. I've been there. I've ordered coffee there. I mean, you know, when I go to the farmer's market early in the morning out there on the west side, Park West, they're out there doing their thing. I mean, we're setting up. We go in the coffee shop and they're getting ready for the day.
Hey, the food's amazing too. You can't forget the food. The coffee's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've been drinking the coffee for 8 years, but the food, wow.
Nate does a really good job.
Yeah.
He does, yeah. He'd never admit it, but Nate does a fantastic job in that kitchen.
Man, I seen that guy. That guy made like 30 sandwiches in like 5 minutes.
There's 30 sandwiches.
No,
Flat rate Nate?
5 minutes. Flat rate Nate?
Flat rate, that's his
I might
nickname.
be
That's his nickname?
exaggerating a little bit, but I'm telling you, in the sandwich, the quality was like amazing.
Yeah.
All right. I want to back up for a minute again because I feel like there's a lot. I got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I've got a ton of questions. So you started 8 years ago with coffee. Let's back up even further than that. Where are you from? Are you from Arizona? Are you from here? Or how did you end up here?
I am not. So I am originally from small town Oklahoma.
Okay.
Coffee and I go way back. And then I moved to Illinois when I was 15. That's where I met Nate. So he's a Chicagoan.
Okay.
And,
when you guys were 15, you guys met?
Yeah, I met him when I was 15. He was 16.
Wow, that's awesome.
So we've known each other a long time.
You guys go back.
Yeah, we go back.
Yeah.
And then we dated because he was pretty cute. And he convinced me to move across the country.
Okay.
And Arizona was actually a 5-year plan that became, how many years is it? I think 17 years this year.
Wow.
So we planted roots, man. We planted roots.
Is Nate from Arizona?
Nope, he's from Chicago.
Chicago
Area, yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
She said that.
Yeah,
I was
that's
talking
a
about
lot.
her.
We went to Oklahoma, then we went to Chicago, and now we're here. So I don't know. I mean, I'll pose a question. So if I have lived here longer than I ever lived at home, which would be Oklahoma, now am I a Phoenician because I lived here longer now than I lived in Oklahoma?
Only Marcos can answer that because he's born and raised here.
Born and raised in Arizona, yeah. So how long have you lived here, you said?
17.
17? Yeah, that's the threshold. We talked about that the last episode, right? It was,
Yeah, we did. I mean,
it was 8 or 9. I think it was 9 years.
Yeah, you said 9 years. I mean, you're
9 years.
jury.
9 years. I just want to make sure I keep the same answer. It's 9 years living in Arizona. After that, you're Arizonan.
I raised you one generation.
You raised? What do you mean?
Like having your kids, them born here, and make it to adulthood here, then you can say you're from Arizona.
I agree,
Wow,
actually.
You stepped the bar up a little bit.
It's a great state. You
Mark
should.
that down.
You
Yep.
should. But yeah, to go back to where I'm from, I came from tiny town Oklahoma, and just to tie that back into kind of the origins of Bully Brew Co. I have had like a lifetime love affair with coffee, and it started with I love to hang out with old men. And by that I mean old man. My grandfather Charlie and we had a really, really great relationship, and I would literally play hooky, and the nurses would all know if I could get that thermometer to say 99.0, they're calling Grandpa, and we're playing hooky, and we're going to a donut shop with coffee, and I'm talking to old men over coffee. So when Charlie died in 16, I got super sad. He was kind of my person, and his favorite things in the world were pit bulls and coffee. And so I was just sitting there one day, like, doing lines of Oreos in milk, watching 13 Reasons Why, depressed because I had just lost my job. And I'm like, Charlie, what do I do with my life? And Nate's consolation prize to that crazy trip where my grandfather died was this big fat-headed pit bull that we named Boomer after the Sooners. And Boomer looked at me and I just heard like coffee. So I took my corporate background and decided to kind of play with coffee a little bit. I had been in and out of the coffee industry since 2007. And I really, really believe that my grandfather's had like a really good hand in our journey. And I know that he is very proud of what we've done. So that is like the Bully Brew together in with how it happened, why it happened, and kind of where we are, the foundations of like why the name is Bully Brew.
Wow, I was going to ask that same question.
I was going to say, you answered.
Check.
Yep, check that right off the block.
Yeah, check it off the box. Yeah, everybody asks that. They're like, why pit bulls? I'm like, my grandpa Charlie and a big dumb pit bull that I love. He's the goodest boy. His name is Boomer, and he's beautiful.
Wow.
He's a beautiful boy.
That's an awesome story. I mean, just kind of hearing the inspiration behind how you came up with the name, how you came up with coffee, and like why you're so passionate about coffee. I think that's awesome. I think in business, as we're talking to different business owners, there's a lot of different reasons as to why people come into their specific industry, their specific business. But I've always first of all, I like your guys' logo, which we'll talk about logos and branding. But I never understood, obviously, because I haven't talked to you a whole lot, why you chose the pit bull, why you chose coffee, and I think that just kind of speaks to your whole business and your background and why you do what you do. You mentioned something, though, as you were explaining that, talking about taking people's temperatures. Why were you taking people's temperatures?
No, the school was taking my temperature.
Oh.
Because, again, tiny town. As long as you pulled A's, they didn't care. As long as you were there in the morning and you said, here, present, then, you know how it goes, public school. And I don't know. I was gifted and I didn't want to be at school a lot. I wanted to be out in the world. I wanted to be anywhere but where it was. So school was very, very boring to me. And so that thermometer, again, like the nurses would know, I just look at him and they'd be like, Charlie, and he'd go, do you need a bucket or is it for real? Like, is it for real sick or hooky? And they'd be like, bring a bucket or she's playing hooky today. Like the nurses just knew. They just knew. But he was my person. It's my dad's dad. And Charlie, Charlie lives on. So
Definitely. So let me ask you this. What's your favorite flavor? Like, how do you guys come up with the great flavors you guys had? Because I had plenty of different flavors. I mean, just some crazy ones. I mean, some very unique ones.
Over the years, I love food. But you know how, I don't know, you guys are gentlemen. I don't know how on top of fashion that you stay, but just like Vogue magazine says orange is the new pink or this trend's in, and apparently now everybody's attacking skinny jeans. So if you notice, I did not wear my millennial skinny jeans. Food journals are very much the same way. So if you're staying in front of food journals and you're looking at what culinary is doing, it's a really great inspiration to know what beverage is going to do too. So I have people that will see, like I just brought, it's a flavor we always call Blue Healer, but it's blueberry, rosemary, and cardamom, and I just brought that one back, and everyone looks at me so crazy when I say it, but to me it tastes like an adult version of Fruity Pebbles, so I'm like, don't hate until you try it, right?
Wow, I need to try
good.
that.
But
Sounds
just
good,
eating
actually.
and trying, you know, and the foundations are, you get your earthy, you get your sweet. It's the same thing as food, like salt, fat, fat, acid, and heat, or salt. I can't remember right now, but it's the same kind of thing where like you just kind of look forward to the trends and see where they're going, or it's like making salsa. Like you guys have some crazy flavors of salsa. I could ask you the same question, like flip it and reverse it.
Oh yeah.
Who was the first person to ever say I'm going to put a pineapple with this pepper and call it good?
I don't know. That's good. I'm gonna get back to you with on that.
Yeah,
But it's good, right?
Yeah, the combo. Yeah,
it's
for
the
sure.
combo. You just play with things.
Oh, that
But
makes
yeah,
sense.
I read a lot. I read a lot and see what culinary is doing, and then that's a really good way to see like what direction you can take beverage at that point.
I mean, they got some amazing flavors. I mean, wow, I forgot what my favorite was because the thing is, you guys keep topping my favorite, so it's like I lose my favorite like every 3 or 4 months. So
I'm
it's-
sorry.
Then
We
you
do
don't
change.
remember. I know
We
you
do change
a
a
lot.
lot. We'll bring it back though. Most of the time we do. If you love
Right.
it enough, we'll bring it back.
If I can remember, because you guys keep topping, like you never know what's your favorite.
Just bring it all back.
Bring
all
it
of
all back.
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah, that'll keep your whole team busy.
It will. But now I have like a team, which is really new for me because for the first 5 years of the business, it was just me and Nate, and more on flavor side, like the menu side of it has always been kind of my jam. So it's unique to see what the girls have been putting together up front now. Like they come up with all sorts of really crazy things. So it's nice to have like so much more brain juice and fresh energy into the business that we haven't had before.
Yeah, definitely.
So you mentioned something about Nate earlier with making sandwiches, and so I want to know more about that. Is he more the culinary guy? Is he the guy that brings all the food to the table? Yeah,
and he's a little nerd. So he's always been a fantastic cook.
Yeah.
He will never call himself a chef, and he's not classically culinary trained, but again, if you have a passion for something, you can pursue that. And so now his entire feeds on everything is all culinary. But he grew up in an Italian household and he loved to help his mom in the kitchen. And so I married up, like he cooks way better than I do, for sure. Like I can cook, but he can cook. And he does it well. Yeah, he can cook.
With some passion.
Yeah, with some passion. But Nate has a very interesting brain about him. And when I say flat rate Nate, Nate was a master certified technician with BMW for years, and his brain operates at the highest mode of efficiency. He'll never cut a corner. You will never see that man cut a corner, but he will find the most efficient way to do something right, which is incredible to me because I have ADHD and it's just like pinball up in there a lot. And he's looking at me like, baby, I'm like, I'm sorry. But he gets this little wiggle and he'll be like, he knows I'll either be open to that invitation to be like, hey, you can show me how to do this flat rate, Nate, or I'll just be like, not right now, sir. Like, this is not the time. I am not teachable in this moment. So he kind of lets me go with it. But yes, he is the culinary creator back there. He does a very good job.
What are some of his top creations that you could speak to that have you know, gotten a lot of positive feedback? There's probably a ton. I just maybe give me the top 3 to 5.
He makes like the world's best. His tomato soup is the best.
Tomato soup?
His tomato soup from scratch is the best. Master smoker, so I'm gonna go towards the home side of things.
All right.
I clean the smoker for you. I want a pork shoulder tomorrow, please.
Use prickly pear Theo Marcos salsa for that pork shoulder.
Ooh, okay.
I'll hook you guys up. Yeah.
Well, I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah.
We're responsible for the pork shoulder on Easter this year, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We got to get our hands on that on Saturday so we can get it ready for Sunday.
I got you.
Cool.
You got some cases with you?
Not right now, but I will Saturday. She said Saturday. Come on.
Saturday.
Easter's coming
Saturday's
up.
D-Day.
Oh, of course. We're ready.
So you need to go grab a couple cases.
Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll get to you Saturday.
Yeah, we'll talk.
We'll talk.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to set it up now. Like you take it there and get
He would appreciate that. But like I said, I'm like the procrastinator master here. Like procrastination.
Wow. So I had this breakfast sandwich that they make in Bully Brew. I forgot the name of what it was, but it was. I mean, it was amazing. I had it so far like 3 or 4 times. I had that. My son loves their biscuit and gravy. That was. I mean,
That's scratch too.
Yeah, that was amazing too. And I forgot what else I had. I think it was a croissant, maybe.
Croissant sandwich?
Yeah, that was really good too.
Was your sandwich on the bagel, the one that you got the other day, or no?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you how many sandwiches I actually order.
We see you every Saturday almost.
Well, I'm probably up to, like, you guys should get a punch card. That's all I got to say.
I'm a little bit jealous because I've only had coffee there. I didn't really know about the whole food thing. I saw some of the pastries, but I didn't realize that you guys were crushing it with food.
Yeah.
It was super. Look, time out. Before you say
Come
whatever
on,
you're going to
Marcus.
say.
Like, you got to get done with the routine, man. What do you eat on the west side?
The farmers markets hit out there, though.
They
Like
do.
Peyton does a great job with the food and the food truck roll-ups every week. Like it's hard to choose.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot.
it is hard to choose, but, you know, I love to go to Bully Brew.
Yeah,
Just
I'm going to
saying.
go to Bully. I got you. I'm going to go back.
You gotta tell me what you want.
Yeah.
Get with the
I'll bring
program,
it to you.
Marcos.
I'm getting with it, and they're going to get with it too.
Yeah, you just keep up.
Yeah, we got this. We got this.
We got this. All right.
So you, all right, let's going back to you being an entrepreneur. I mean, there's a lot going on here. I think there's a lot to dive into. As you were coming up, you said you started in the farmers markets, and then did you know at that time that you wanted to get a brick and mortar, or did it take time to figure out, like, is this a side hustle, is this a full-time thing, or is this something that we want to grow into, like brick and mortars, not just one but multiple? Like, walk me through that thought process and where you want to go.
Happy accident. Question number one.
Okay.
We had a buddy. So when we started doing cold brew coffee at the time, the method, I mean, County didn't even have protocol on it. Cold brew was still so new. There were only a couple people in the valley really doing it. And my whole mission was like have coffee that doesn't make your stomach flip. Everybody knows that feeling, right? You have a coffee and things happen. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so we were able to find that, and we had a friend who, very kind friend, who's also an entrepreneur, that was like, if you don't monetize this, because we did it for me, and then we did it for we as a family, and friends started getting a hold of it. He's like, if you don't monetize it, I'm going to. Like, the product is good, you should really try it out. So we really didn't know what it would become, and the first farmer's market we did was with Solomon at the water park. That's where we met. And I think in 3 hours we sold $600 worth of coffee at $4 pop, and I was like, okay, like this is legitimate, it's a thing. At the time, we did farmers markets for about 2 years before I started looking to expand, and we honestly thought we were going to go with truck because that's what everybody was doing, right? Like the mobile truck thing, you can pull up. We had corporate accounts that were kind of waiting, and we started putting time into the design of that truck with a local builder. And I walked into my hair salon one day and I ordered, like they had this little bistro in there, this tiny little counter, basically a bar. And I ordered something off the menu and they didn't have it. So I ordered like their famous taco salad on Thursdays, they didn't have it. And the wife was there at the time. The gentleman that cooked, he's a chef and he never really talked much. Very nice guy, Swedish, just very, very sweet man, but didn't talk a lot. And I finally was like, what's up, girl? Like, you don't have anything I want. What do you have? And she goes, oh, I'm so sorry. We're retiring in 2 days. And we just got to talking, and she asked me what I did. I said, I have a coffee company. We're working on a truck. She goes, well, do you do food? I'm like, I love food, but I've never cooked in my life. She's like, you should do this. I'm like, I don't know. I think I should do this. So this sweet woman talked me into meeting with the owner of that little salon suites boutique. It's a 41 suite boutique off 51st Avenue in the 101 called The Monogram. And I left that day and I went home and I was like, babe, I don't think we should do the truck. I think I should open up this tiny brick and mortar. So our first shop was an 89 square foot countertop where I would turn around and take your order, then go to the espresso machine, start your drink, turn around, start building your panini, stick it on the press, flip your eggs, take your money, finish your drink, and just like a hamster on a wheel. And we did that for almost 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And by the grace of God, we did, because so many businesses that had trucks did not survive COVID. And that was right before COVID hit.
Wow.
So because we were considered essential, and our clientele by that point from those markets was so loyal and so kind, like we have the best community over coffee. They kept us in survival that whole time we were considered essential. Wow. Had we gotten a truck, I don't think we'd be here right now.
So that really propelled you guys,
it did.
Actually.
It
COVID
did.
was a plus for you.
Yep, and the food, I fell in love with creating food too, and I was like, you know what, we can do this. So it was really a really great springboard to figure out, do we want to do brick and mortar? And as I look to the future, the goal is 3 in the Valley. I want 2 in Oklahoma.
Oh, wow.
So I can go back home.
Right?
Yeah. They don't have a lot of coffee there. It's like Starbucks.
It's an open market.
And Libby Lee's and like some Daylight Donuts, which is where I drank my coffee as a kid, but it's a donut shop. So yeah, I'm coming home.
Oh, wow.
I'm coming home.
I love that. I love that for you guys. Do you guys do donuts?
No, but I've looked into it.
You should.
I have looked into it. I don't want to fry anything. So if I can make like killer, good, not terrible for you fried donuts, I will.
Yeah, croissant donuts.
Croissant donuts.
I love
Working
croissant
on it.
donuts.
Hey, I make killer cinnamon rolls though. Will those do for now?
Oh, yeah, those definitely would do.
I got a special request if you don't already have it.
What's that?
Do you have strawberry-filled croissants?
I don't.
So I used to, just a fun fact, when I used to live in Germany, there's one bakery. They used to make the best strawberry-filled croissants that I've ever had in my life. And I haven't been able to find a place to do it or make it since I've been home.
Okay.
But if you could do that,
We're working on
I'd be your
injected
number one
croissants now.
I'd be your number one customer. Like,
Here come Marco's using the podcast for his personal gain.
yes,
There
okay.
we
So,
go.
I mean, it's benefiting everybody here.
I raised you. I'll give you one of my raspberry rolls on Saturday, and you can tell me texture-wise of that fruit, because we use real fruit. Everything is like, we try to go organic when we can and local everything. But those raspberry custard rolls that I do are incredible.
Are
That
they?
sounds good.
They're
Okay.
incredible.
All right.
But croissants are they're They're an undertaking.
Yeah.
It is not for the faint of heart.
No. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
it's a tall order, but
It's a tall order, but I'll see what I can do.
all right.
I'll take the raspberry custard rolls.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm very simple.
Apparently, I'm not. I guess. I don't know.
So, did you say Germany?
Yeah, when I was in the Army, I used to be stationed in Germany.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm glad you're home.
Me too. Happy to be home. Germany was nice though.
Germany was nice.
It was. It was.
Yeah.
I heard Marcos make a mean schnitzel.
I do.
I still haven't tried it yet.
Oh,
but
it's bomb.
I don't know if I've ever had an authentic schnitzel.
I got you. I learned how to do it out there.
You have to teach Nate.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah.
You got to cook it in butter. That's the secret. I shouldn't have told everyone.
Paula
but-
Deen! Give me that butter.
Yeah. That's the secret.
I know. One day I was talking to Marcos on the phone. He's like, "Yeah." I said, "What you having for dinner tonight?" Usually he's every day. I mean, all the time.
Here we
Steak
go.
with Marcos. I said, "You making what?" He's like, "Schnitzel." I was like, "Schnitzel." I was like, "Okay, that's different than ribeye." So I mean, I'm waiting to try it.
The closest I've been to schnitzel is a dog named Schnitzel. I've never seen it, never been. Although I did go to a German pub in Tulsa, and I think they had it on the menu, but it was too late to
I'm
order.
gonna hook you guys all up with the best schnitzel you ever had because anywhere else out here they're not gonna do
Careful
it the way I
now.
do. I know what I'm saying. This is bomb.
Careful now.
Straight
Look
to
it.
the source. Learned it straight from. I mean, if you learned it straight from the source.
Look, let me just tell you. And fun fact about me, I'm actually like 20% German. Not everyone knows that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Grandma was born and raised in Munich.
I'm honorary Italian. I will make the best spaghetti and meatballs you've ever had. But it's not my recipe. It's thanks to them.
We'll barter.
Yeah.
Schnitzel for sauce.
Hey, we could do a potluck.
Yeah.
with a trophy.
No, not with a trophy.
You knew I was gonna say
You
that.
gotta
huh?
take it competitive.
Yeah, always,
no,
always.
just a regular potluck.
Okay, well, this one will
Among
be
friends,
a potluck.
no trophies,
Okay,
no
cool. But the one
competitions.
you and I do,
No, it's not happening, Mark.
we can ribeyes.
Not happening.
Yeah, I'm gonna destroy you.
Ribeyes again?
Of course,
Oh,
it's
there
my
we go.
specialty.
We'll
Yeah.
put you against Nate on ribeyes.
Really?
Ooh.
See how
I'm down.
that
I'll take
goes.
on
He's
any.
down
Yes.
for some healthy
Now
competition.
this
Is
is
he?
getting
I
He's
love
interesting.
down
that.
for
This
some
is
healthy
getting
competition.
interesting.
Yeah. All right, Nate, Paul, Marcos, the ribeye.
I'm not in it.
competition.
I'm supposed to be a judge.
No, you're in. No, hell no.
We just want to eat.
Okay.
I don't want to work for
I know.
it.
I'm just saying. I just want to eat.
All right. Well, this is gonna happen. We still got to get this on the calendar. We'll figure that out.
Hey, Marcos, do I make the best scrambled eggs?
You know what? I can't even. So we talked about this before.
That's a hot debate.
I was. All I can say is
Scrambled eggs are polarizing.
I was pretty impressed with his scrambled eggs. I even asked him afterwards. I'm like, hey, how'd you do that?
Super fluffy. Super fluffy.
Fluffy dry, fluffy wet.
Oh, no. They're the most perfect,
They were
moist,
not dry.
everything.
I don't want to call them wet or dry. They were like a nice in between.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like
It's like butter. Like
Like
eating butter.
butter.
Yeah, they were like fluffy, moist.
Okay.
So this one basically wanted to say I did a little flex with the scrambled eggs.
You did. I'm not even gonna lie. I wasn't expecting it either because we were out there working. We were in Albuquerque at the Airbnb. We're just getting ready to sell sauce, and I'm sitting here. I was like, oh, this is delicious. What is that? This is good. And I asked him afterwards. I'm not gonna lie. I'll put that on record. I did ask him how he did that, and I practiced it later. It didn't come out as
So
good. But
everybody
I'm gonna
out
get some more
there,
practice.
you heard this, right?
Look, yeah, I'm
the
not
scrambled egg
I'll,
king.
I'll call it. I'll call it how it is. Those were good scrambled eggs. But my ribeye, whew,
Here we go back to Marcos again.
yeah.
Back to Bully Brew.
Anyways, yeah, let's talk about Bully Brew. Why do you always got to take it there? So Bully Brew, is it Coffee Co or Bully Brew Co?
So it's Bully Brew Co.
Okay.
And the reason behind that is Nate actually used to brew beer at home. So the plan is brewing coffee, brewing beer, getting back to that. So I'm the coffee girl, he's the beer king, and we're going to marry those two ideas. We actually have a plan within our lease to have a micro brewery within the current shop.
I love that.
Tabitha,
idea.
let me ask you this: when's the samples gonna start?
That's exactly
That's
what I was
want to
gonna
know.
say.
Like Nate, come on, man. Yeah, like,
Go talk
where's
to
the
him.
samples?
Give him some crap next market. He's got to start brewing again. He's got
Yeah,
to start
I'm
getting
ready
into
for
that
Nate.
routine.
I'm gonna come see you Saturday.
Nate
Yeah.
Dogg, come on.
Yeah, I give you permission. Poke your head in that kitchen. He'd love to see you.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see those beers too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
those
too.
beers. All right, some beers, some laughs, and then some ribeyes.
Yeah,
there we go.
absolutely.
I'm
But
getting
that's the
coffee.
plan. That's why we didn't put coffee in the name because
Okay.
we want to bring back beer.
I love that. So you guys thought ahead. You know, being an entrepreneur. So it sounds like you're the co-owner and Nate's the other co-owner. When you guys, there's so much that we can dive into. So like, when you guys are making decisions and you guys are trying to like build this, do you guys like have some sort of system or process, or do you just kind of come in and say this is what we're gonna do? Does he come in and say what we're gonna do? Or do you guys like how does that work? And I ask this because I know there's entrepreneurs out there that are in relationships, whether they're married or not married, or trying to figure it out. What is your guys' process for trying to build your guys' empire? Because that's what you're doing.
Yeah, it's a legacy business, as his dad would say. I call him Smart Dad. Dave is Smart Dad. That's a really good question because the foundations of Bully Brew were so heavily tied into me and just like this pull that I had. And I have a very loving, very supportive spouse, and that's really been the key. We never thought it would get to a level where I needed to pull him in. And so right now we're kind of figuring that out. And this store that we have now is the flagship. So, and we've even explained it to our team, like we're making the way right here, right now. Each and every single one of you is important to that process. That being said, we're trying to delineate where I stay more front of house coffee side and then he keeps culinary. But we have what's called the wavelength. And I don't know if you can relate to this with your wife, but there's so often where we're thinking the exact same things without even trying, and we'll just be like, get out of my head, get out of my head.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm very blessed that way to have somebody that's, I don't want to call him like-minded because we're very different, but for a lot of it, like he's still really finding his leadership way. And he's always been a leader at heart, but he's just now getting to like cultivate those skills where I'm just very outspoken and I'm the hot-headed Southern woman. So I've kind of dragged him with me up until now. And now I'm like, what do you want to do? Right. You know, you have a say. This is your kitchen. This is your way. So for the future, I think that, you know, he supports me very well in my administrative in the coffee side role. And then I'm trying to support him the best in building his team in the culinary space that's his.
So let me ask you this. So you guys are husband and wife, you know, you own the business together. How important is work-life balance for you guys?
Knowing the balance that truly doesn't exist is the key. I think that we can all relate where it's like feast or famine. It's like when your business is so healthy and growing and just you're killing it and things are cohesive, some other things fall by the wayside. And that's okay. Some balls are glass, some balls are plastic, and you're going to drop some. You just need to make sure the ones that you're not dropping are hopefully not glass. Not the important breakable ones. And then again, when like everything else is flourishing, some things kind of go by the wayside. So it's just kind of like riding those sea waves, but putting the marriage first because it is very, very easy to... I'll tell a story. So we went to have a beer after like one of our first grand opening weekends, and we sat there at Cactus Tap Room together, and we didn't know what to talk about there for a second because I was like, I don't want to talk about work, and he's like, I don't want to talk about kids. I'm like,
good luck.
What do we talk about? Yeah. Right? Because we've got teenagers and we've been married. Look, I've known him forever. So, but knowing the balance doesn't exist and remembering to give each other grace in those capacities. But that's what I tell everyone that's an entrepreneur. Like, so many people are so hard on themselves for different things that happen. I'm like, just give yourself grace and just keep doing your best. That's all you can do. Oh, by the way, balance is a myth. It doesn't exist. You just do the best you can.
You hear that, Tasha?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Tasha, balance does not exist, girl.
No, like, yeah, that's really important. You know, definitely a work-life balance with somewhat, you know, basically, I don't really call it a balance either, but I would say you always got to remember.
Yes.
You got to be mindful.
You have to be mindful that you're married. You have to be mindful that it's a family. And it's a family business. Like, you get that. Your kids have grown up in this business. My kids were 3 and 5 when we started.
Oh, yeah.
So they're very much a part of it, and they're very much, like, looking to the future of it. One wants to be a tattoo artist, and one wants to run the shop. So I'm like, hey, you go do whatever. But it is. You do have to remember that it does take a lot.
Yeah.
It takes, the business can take a lot from life.
Oh, definitely.
So you have to make that time.
Yeah, I mean, when you're tired, you've been making sauce all day, and kids jump on you. They don't care if you make sauce. They don't care.
And you have to remember that too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always tired, and I got all different ages, so I'm always getting jumped on.
Yeah.
Even my 11-year-old, he shouldn't be jumping on me right now, but he does. He thinks it's funny. He thinks it's very funny to jump on me. I'm like, come on, man, you're heavy. You're like 6. I mean, you're almost like, what is it, 5'5" or something?
He's 5'5" at 11?
No, he's maybe like 5'2", 5'3".
He's still taller than me at 11.
I didn't
40.
say anything.
How tall are you?
4'11".
4'11".
And some.
I think both our boys are taller.
He's definitely taller.
Yeah. How is it when, like, so then, well, no, you don't know. You're tall. How tall is your kid?
I don't know his exact height, but he's taller than you.
Taller than me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope your kids outgrow you one day so you know what it feels like to talk up at your child when you're like getting onto them.
That's not gonna
Because that's a whole new
It's
experience.
gonna happen, Marcus.
That's not gonna happen. Nah, it's not gonna happen.
It's a whole new experience.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be taller than you. Marcus.
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see he's pretty tall.
All right. Anyways.
ADHD,
Anyways.
highway.
Yeah. All right.
Mark was like,
No, I think that's so. Thinking back to when you guys started your brick and mortar last year. How did you know where to go? Did you know what part of town to go to? Did you know like what type of building to pick? Like, how did you figure all that out? Because I'm sure there's like entrepreneurs out there right now
That wanna know.
that are in the in between, where they're like, we're at a market or we're out of our van and we want to make the choice, we want to make the leap. How do you know how to do that? And how did you know what side of town to choose in this?
That's
Big Valley.
a great question. As far as I kind of had the advantage of finding that little space, and that little space was extremely budget friendly in regard to what my lease said at the time. And now we're in the big leagues, right? So I have been watching zip codes, and you can see kind of the year-over-year growth reports. The zip code that we're in is 85345, which is Peoria. I knew I wanted to be on the west side. No offense, east side. I lived in Scottsdale for a while, and I worked in Scottsdale for even longer, and in Chandler. And the commutes, like the traffic, the commutes was just like not my jam. So we moved out to the west side almost immediately, and I knew I wanted to stay there. But that specific zip code, up until even through COVID, was growing at about 8.5% a year over year
Oh, wow.
for the last decade.
So you were looking at data.
I was looking at data,
Key number
hard
one.
data. And I started looking at Park West specifically because we had a following there. We had been doing a farmer's market there for some time. They actually reached out to us while I was looking at other properties. And so I've been looking in Glendale, closer to our home, North Peoria, Northwest Valley, areas around there. And there were a couple of things that happened. And I don't know if you guys will ever relate, but we kept getting a lot of doors slammed in our face with these bigger leasing companies because they would specifically say, we will not rent to small business.
Wow.
They want Starbucks, they want Dutch, they want the big names, and obviously you understand because it's a liability, right, to lease to someone. There's skin in the game. But Park West actually reached out to us, and it just felt like every time a door would close, like a window would open over here, a door would open over there, and we eventually compared that to Glendale. And for a older building in a not as growing zip code, the rent per square foot was way more. And then I found out through City of Peoria, going to city meetings. Go to city meetings, guys. Like city meetings, I know people like slough those things off and don't think about them, but if you really want to know what's going on around you, go to city planning meetings. I heard about Vi, and they're working on the Olive Avenue and Grand Avenue revival. Like they're putting a lot of time and effort into reviving specifically Grand Avenue in Peoria and Glendale. And once I heard about that, I'm like, this is going to explode.
Right.
So if you go to Park West today, you see all that construction around, it's not going to stop anytime soon. It's going to be a thriving area, and then they're going to continue to push out even further west.
Wow.
So it's a good place to be.
I love the fact that you mentioned and that you just told everyone to go to city meetings because that's something that we've never talked about. But I think that's literally the planning of the future and the voice of the customer all in one place.
Absolutely.
Captured, and you leverage that to make your decision. And I think any small business, especially small businesses that are getting doors shut in their faces, should go to. So
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to have all the data that you need to know if your brand is going to work there. So through those reports that they release annually, it's just regular reports after they do tax seasons. They tell you like the median age, if it's families, young families, what their median income is, all of that. And I was like, this is our target demographic. Why would I not open here? So when it was between this place and that place, I picked Park West.
how do you know your target demographic?
So what I thought my target demographic was and what it actually was way different. When Bully first started, it was, even though I'm the voice behind, it was very masculine, like sarcastic brand. And honestly, social media told me what my target demographic was.
Yep.
And seeing who came at the farmers markets, it was like young moms, college students getting through finals. We have a pretty broad demographic, but a lot of them are young moms, somewhere between 25 and 35.
That's so interesting.
I thought it was too.
Wow.
I use, in all honesty, I use social media and the metrics when we run ads, when we post reels, whatever. I can see my demographics, and I know. That's why I asked the question to see if you were looking at the same thing.
Social media will tell you a lot. I can't remember if Square Reporting had some. I feel like a long time ago they did, but privacy laws are different. And then there used to be this really great app that had this feature called Sneaky Peek, and Sneaky Peek got taken away.
Sneaky Peek.
It was called Sneaky Peek on an app called Plan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they ended up getting audited by, I don't know, Meta or somebody. And then the Plan is still a great app for like hashtag research and stuff, but they took away Sneaky Peek. It was a sad day.
Oh.
It was a sad day.
R.I.P. Sneaky Pete.
R.I.P. Thanks, Zuck.
All right, I got another question for you. So, you're a parent, I'm a parent, but your story, you as a parent, what are some of the challenges that you've had to face as a parent and an entrepreneur, and how do you overcome some of those challenges as a parent and an entrepreneur?
Balance of time is a huge one.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids, and you can relate, I mean, we're loading up our 3 and 5-year-old at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning into cars to
Feels
go
so bad sometimes, but you do.
to the farmer's market. But they find their own little kid community, which is really cool because like everybody at the farmer's market's family. I will say during the pandemic, it was really, really hard. And at those formative ages, they're 13 and 11 now. But they've grown up with it. So involving your kids in your business, showing them the value of $1, if they have entrepreneurial spirits that are naturally sprouting at that point, because if they do, you'll see it. Nurture those, show them what an opportunity it can be, but they're learning lessons and they're seeing mom and dad work hard and make sacrifices for that. And in turn, your kids sacrifice. For years, our kids couldn't do sports because we grew, and then, it went to Nate and I at a market, to Nate at this market, and me at this market, and we kind of had to divide and conquer that. And our son wanted to play hockey, right? And it finally got to the point where I was like, you know what, that's it. We're taking our Sundays back, because we were doing Sunday markets. And as a family that goes to church, the first thing we did was finally take back Sundays and just say, if this is meant to be, the Lord will bless us in other ways. And it was fine. And then it came, our son deserves to play a sport. He deserves that time, and we just figure it out. Luckily we have a great village where like Nana and Papa will help out, or now we have a team where I can kind of go and do those things. But the kids see the sacrifice and they understand, but you also need to make sure that they know they can grab your attention and say, I know you're busy, but I need you right now. And that's really, really important, to check on your kids every night, ask them how their heart's doing, and just say, I am never too busy. You just got to tell me if I'm not paying attention. Now that they're older, they can do that. When they were younger, you had to be a lot more intentional.
Yeah, I could definitely relate to that, because I remember my son, I think it was about maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, that actually he got a chance to actually play football on a Saturday. And I made it to a point. We made it a point to actually be at every game. And I didn't miss not one single game.
That's amazing.
And it was that was a huge accomplishment for us. To actually be at the games, we made it a point. And luckily, like, it was right around the corner from the market, so it was kind of nice that we actually got a chance. I just remember going 100 miles per hour, getting back from the market and get to the game. And for us, that was like, I mean, it set this thing off, like, all right, we can make it games. Well, we can do this. We can do this. And we actually took a vacation. I don't know how you guys, but we actually took a vacation. It was awesome. I mean, like, it was like a big vacation. We actually shut everything down, and
that's incredible.
It was awesome feeling. So.
You just gotta commit, though. That's the thing. Like, the place isn't gonna burn down without you.
Maybe.
It might.
You gotta show my social media people.
Insurance.
If they don't have hot sauce. Oh, you don't have blackberry rum sauce? I don't know.
We went on vacation.
Alert the media.
They don't try to hear it.
Yeah, I hear that.
Do you guys go on vacation? Like, how does that work for you guys? Or is it something you aspire to do?
I aspire to.
Okay.
But every January for a decade, we've been committed to taking about 4 days in Flagstaff. So no matter what's going on, we shut down everything and take the time to take the kids to see the snow. Yeah. Because we grew up with snow, they didn't. But they have the opportunity to.
Right.
So every January we do that. I aspire to take my family out of the continental United States for a week in 2024. Like, that's my BHAG right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we all wish that for you. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, just crush it.
You can be out there
everything.
crushing it.
I need a break.
Yeah, I think so.
Everyone deserves a break.
Everyone deserves a break.
I think it's, it's important for everyone to hear, that they see all the glory, the glamour of successful business owners. But these stories right here are so important for people to hear and understand, like the grind, which you guys go through, how it impacts your family, your relationships. So I really appreciate you sharing some of this, the honest grind that you guys went through to get to where you are. You guys started from, farmers markets, right? From conversations over coffee to farmers markets to a brick and mortar, to a future vision, which I know you're going to accomplish. And I hope I get the invite to the ribbon cuttings.
Oh, absolutely.
Of Oklahoma to Arizona to wherever you're taking this. Like, I wish you guys so much success, and I just want to see it, all the way through. And I can't wait to compete against Nate again with the ribeyes. I'm excited about this.
I'm excited about it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
What do you mean, man? I got this.
Come on, we just can't have a friendly potluck. Why's it got to be a trophy and everything?
And a trophy.
What's the trophy? It could be something like a...
We'll figure it out. A ribeye trophy.
No, this guy is literally ordering a trophy.
I'm going to pay for it.
Who does that in a potluck?
We'll do an annual competition.
Yeah, but that guy's...
We'll just see who takes home the trophy after the annual competition, I mean, you guys will never see it, so don't worry. Like, I'm just buying myself a trophy.
I have a trophy case, man. You got to catch up.
It's not going to see this one.
No, I'm a trophy hog. You know that.
Okay, well, you're not hogging this one.
Did you ever hear the story about there was a company chili cook-off, and this person kept taking the ribbon home year after year after year, and then someone found out that it was really, like, chili from a store? That they,
oh, no way.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, well, we're not using
But they were like,
stories.
hey, they didn't say we had to make it.
That's fair. We're going to have to define the rules. Lesson
So,
learned.
no getting ribeye from wherever you get ribeyes from.
What do you mean? I cook my ribeyes, man.
I'm just saying.
All right.
It's not the trophy coming home
We'll
with me.
record the whole thing.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, back to the star of the show here. Not about you and your failing ribeyes. What are some... And I don't know if you're allowed to share this, but it sounds like you're always changing up your coffees and your recipes. Are there any future things that you plan to release that you can share with the public, or are those all under like R&D right now?
Some of them are R&D still. Most of those are culinary creations that I've been working on because I take on the baking at the shop too. But we have been working on a couple of things. One of them is with another local farmers market company. It's a company called Ananda Elixirs, and they specialize in like super mushroom blends. So we've been having lots of fun creating mocktails and coffee cocktails with those in them. Really cool company, clean company, but you get your Power 4, so your lion's mane, your reishi, your turkey tail, and your cordyceps. So that's like the next big thing that we're about to push is like this nighttime. I call them beverages with benefits. I haven't put that out there yet, but that's what we're calling bevies with bennies.
All right.
To start bringing some,
bennies.
like, bevies with bennies, some natural and supplementation, like making things a little healthier, especially as you come into that twilight hour, right? You can't have a shot, like most people can't, I can, and go to sleep, but like a double shot latte at 7 o'clock at night, you might not do. But if you have something with a little ashwagandha or something else in there to help you get prepared to like wash your face and go night-night, like that's what we're after. So we're pushing forward there.
I think I have some of their products already.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, I've got like two or three at home. They're at one of the markets that we set up at.
That's another powerhouse couple. That's Sammy and her husband. They're super nice, and their product is fire. So if you have like a Coca-Cola addiction, like a soda addiction, they have a vintage cola flavor. That with like San Pellegrino, done.
Yeah.
Tastes like a Coke.
Look, and I don't know if I did this right. Before you go to what you're about to say, I don't know if I did this right. I got the lemon lime from them.
Yeah.
And I put it in, I think you're supposed to put bubble water. I didn't.
Yeah.
I used flat.
You don't have to.
I used flat water. So the lemon lime, the water, and then a shot of tequila. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it.
I don't think
So
you're
you made
supposed
a
to do that.
musharita. That's what I call that.
Musharita?
Yeah, it's a mushroom margarita.
It was actually really good.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so
Delicious.
It was a healthy buzz.
Next time, put some Topo Chico in there instead.
Topo Chico.
Topo
Okay,
Chico.
look at it. She's over here giving me some good
Yeah,
ideas.
let's squeeze a lime. Yeah.
So people don't go to sleep after drinking coffee?
I do.
Oh, I do.
snuggle up in bed with like my murder mystery show, my
I was sitting there the
Doppio.
whole time and like, what's he say? I'm like,
I don't think everyone can do that. I think some people get like heart palpitations. You're weirdos. I don't know.
I do it all the time. I'm like, I'm not supposed to. I'm like, you guys
No?
scaring me for a minute. Like, I'm not going to drink coffee. Like,
No, there's like an outstanding rule in my shop though that I am not allowed a C4 on a Saturday morning.
C4.
Tab gets no energy drinks on an empty stomach. Period. Period.
What happens? We want to know.
Hyperdrive, Mach 10.
Yeah.
I'm like going and killing bar and crushing it, but I'm making a mess. And I look over at my girl one day. I'm like, why am I working so hard when I don't gotta? And she's like, you don't have to work this hard. I'm like,
You're the boss.
yeah. And it was the
So-
C4.
Oh, dang.
It was the C4, and then my fingers got numb and my face got numb.
Oh, dang.
So did Nate do that at the time I came in there and he made 30 sandwiches in 5 minutes? I mean, that's the
Tea
secret?
drinks? Yeah, no. Between the nitro, cold brew, and the Red Bulls on a Saturday, because we wake up at like 4 on Saturday mornings.
So, good question. This is going to be a great question. You own a coffee shop. How often do you drink coffee?
Every day. There is not a
So
day
you
that
still
goes
drink
by.
your product and everything?
She stands behind
She
it.
stands behind it. After
Yeah.
8 years.
Yeah.
It is the only stuff that does not. I'm sorry, but there are so many coffee companies out there. You go to the coffee, you get the coffee, and then you go to the bathroom, and my stuff does not do that to me. So I trust what I know.
So, all right. Walk me through, what is your favorite coffee drink?
My favorite coffee drink is a shaken espresso or just a good old fashioned, like just a double shot in a cup. But our shaken espresso is just done with like a little bit of honey. I like Suntan Honey Farms honey.
Okay, yeah.
And then you
definitely.
shake it and you put a little heavy cream in it at the end. So good.
So, do you still make your coffee or are you very particular about who makes your coffee?
I feel like when someone else makes it, it's made with love. I feel like when I make it for myself, it's made out of necessity. So I am so much the girl's like, hey, can you go make me a coffee? Delicious. So, but
I
I,
love the
will
voice.
make my coffee.
I love
Yeah,
the voice.
yeah. I'm like, please,
Yeah.
please, especially if I'm in the kitchen, because I try not to like come out around the bar if I'm on a kitchen day. So respect their territory.
Wow.
The bar is a territory, and everyone has their way of doing it. So, like, there's the way, but everybody has their way.
So these are the questions I like for years. I always want. I mean, the second episode, like I'm telling you, this kind of stuff that goes through my mind that I think about. Like if I own a coffee shop, would I make my own coffee? Would I
Yeah, you would.
Good
picky
question.
about it? I mean,
You know what the funny thing is? I will make myself the crappiest coffee, and I do not care. I will still drink it. And by crappy coffee, like we have really, really good quality coffee. But by crappy coffee, I mean I'll go into the espresso machine at 5 o'clock in the morning, and every day our baristas, they do what's called a dial. So we dial in our espresso by weight. We're volumetric shop. So it's by weight, this many grams of espresso in with this much water at this temperature and this many grams out to make the perfect shot. And it's done every day, at least once a day. I don't care. That coffee's getting ground, tamped, shoved in there, shaken up, put in a... I don't dial it for myself.
'Cause it's for
You
you.
guys all
Yeah,
get the good coffee. I drink...
Yeah. Just give
Whatever.
me something.
Give me something.
Yeah.
In the
Look it
mix.
up.
strong,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
might be
right.
too,
Yeah.
you know. Wow. I feel I've been like some of my life questions I want to be asked. I've probably been thinking of that since I've been like 20.
Those are questions I haven't thought of, but I find are very important. You talked about, allowing other people to make your coffee because they make it with love. Like I don't know. We've talked about this before. When you hire staff and allowing them to do things, how do you know who you should hire, who should not hire? Actually, we'll start with that question first, and I'll go to my next. How do you know who you should hire and not hire when you're interviewing somebody to be a part of your team?
I think it's more about what they do versus what they say.
Okay.
And I used to have a really good corporate hire record where like I had one person out of like 20 that got by me, but not so much anymore. I think integrity, you look for integrity. You see if the vibe matches, if the vibe hits, and if they're honest. You can tell honesty really quick in a person most times. Unfortunately, you can't say yes to everybody, and that's the hard part because you might like someone, but they might not be a good fit for your shop, and I have made that mistake before. I think we all do it because we all tend to want to love on people and give them opportunities.
Yeah.
But I will say that experience is not always the only thing that you're looking for, and it's probably like my third key point that I go after, like your personality and who you are fit. And by all means, if you're hiring, call the references, because people don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like I actually had a guy that is working for me right now, and he was like, "I was shocked you called my references," and I was like, "I have learned my lesson. I
Yeah.
will always call references."
Yeah.
And you can save yourself a lot of time. But you can pretty much tell if someone's in it right away. Employment history doesn't really matter, duration of employment history, especially with COVID. Like that's an obstacle now, because you'll see like people working for stints of like 3 months, 6 months, a year at a place and hop in. But between the end of 2019 and 2022, you really have to be careful with that, because there were a lot of places that didn't survive and a lot of weird things happening at that time.
All right, so you got them on your team, you recruited them, and they made the cut.
Yeah.
But now you've got all these systems and processes in place, and you've got the culinary side, you've got the coffee side, you've got the front of the house, the cashier side. When you're training them, how do you know when you can let go and allow them to kind of just do their thing for you, representing you and your brand?
You go on vacation. And you pray it doesn't burn down.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. No, we actually did. We were really worried about us going to Flagstaff, because we had some kitchen changes. And honestly, people that you invest in, they're gonna wanna do a good job for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes they need you to let go and not be there for a day or a couple of days to really see, because they wanna know how they stack up too.
Yeah.
They don't want you to always be there. They want to prove to you that they can be a cohesive team and get it done without you there. And that's what we found, and that's what happened. Like the kids crushed it. I call them kids because I'm almost 40 and they're all like in their 20s. But the kids crushed it while we were gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they didn't tell me about any problems until about a week later. They're like,
Wow.
hey, if you happen to get this review.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't come in, so you're good.
I know, that's when you hide your face. You be like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I want to scream inside. But
Yeah, no, they do a really good job. But but good employees, they want to prove. And at the same time, when you're providing employment opportunities, that means advancement opportunities. So they want to prove themselves, that their aptitude levels are up enough to have that promotion or that future position.
Especially for a company that's trying to launch multiple locations. You're going to need people to do
and managers.
Managers.
Managers, I might be looking.
You might be, yeah.
I might be looking.
That's right.
All right, my favorite time of the podcast. Here it goes. So, I know all the listeners want to know. They love this part. At least I do, definitely. What is your why? And why do you do what you do?
That's complicated. It's complicated to say down to one thing, but my heart's goal and why we have fought for this is because there's a community in coffee that has been missing for years, and we're trying to bring that back. And that's what you see and that's what you feel when you come into our store. You see college kids getting to know each other. They didn't know each other, but now they do, and they're doing study groups, and there's fellowship over here, and there's people catching up over here, and someone is a little sad, and I'm going to give them a cookie in a minute over there because they're telling a story. But honestly, it's for the community. I did not have the privilege of having, especially when I moved to Chicago, a place to go and a stable home life, and coffee shops kept me out of trouble. If I wasn't at home or at school, I was in a shop. I was in a coffee shop, and I really wanted to bring that third space back and give people a place to come where if it's not home and they can't go home, at least they have a little place to come in the meantime. But beyond the community and the community that coffee brings together, it's a legacy. It's for my kids. I'm gonna work my tail end off now so that I can have that freedom later to be available for them and hopefully their children one day. Provide good opportunities for people. But my why is definitely the community. It's very little to do with me.
Wow, I love that.
I do too. I wasn't expecting that.
But you said something that so if I come in your shop and I'm a little sad, you will give me a cookie?
I will give you a cookie. See, that's the thing. So we posted a
See
reel
you
where
Saturday.
it's your
Yeah,
customers having a
I'm sure.
conversation, and then it's us listening to the conversation. We really don't do that. We
Yeah.
really don't try to hear people, but there's been times where you can just feel a lot of, we're an empathetic group of people in that shop. And I'll just be like, hey, can you take them a cookie? But we also have Code Daymaker, where if somebody's celebrating or if their frown is turned upside down, all of the team is empowered to say, hey, I did a Daymaker today. They just seemed like they were having a bad day, they needed a smile.
Yeah.
And so we do that for
Okay,
them.
so I just need to put my head down.
Yeah.
Even if I'm looking at my
Well, you
phone.
could be celebrating. I mean, you
look
could be like, I just had a baby.
Yeah. After we release this episode, you're gonna have a line of people with their head down, looking. Wait, did you see the podcast?
Give me that day
All
maker.
right.
Give me that. Yeah, but that is a thing, and that is a code. But yeah, we try not to make them feel like, oh, we're listening. But sometimes you can just tell someone's having a bad day, right? So why would you not make it better if it's within your power?
I know where I'm going.
Cookies.
Keep your head up.
I love
You better
cookies.
keep your head up.
Well, if I
You can put your head down when you lose at that ribeye competition.
No way. I mean, everybody. I mean, right now, everybody's zombies. Everybody looking their head down. Phone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, but that's what you find. Like, yeah, there's people on tablets and in phones when they're at our shop, but we have this table. It's actually a really neat table. It's made out of part of the Phoenix Suns old basketball court.
That's dope.
Yeah,
It's dope. It's like the 2 lanes on top of the key. If you look at it, you can see it. But were a group of kids, because we have a lot of community seating, and that's something I'm working on. And they didn't know each other, but that was like the only table left, and it has all these outlets underneath it. And now they have a community of people that now they know each other.
I
Just
love
wanna
that.
know another question. Who decorated? I mean, the place is amazing. Who did
It
all
really
decorating?
is.
That's a complicated question
It really is
for
nice.
another day. But the wood trusses and the beams and where the back is super feminine and feels kind of like a greenhouse and the front's just a little more eclectic. That was my vision, like the greenery and the wood trusses. The original vision for Bully Brew was a lot more masculine, and we're taking it there. Like if you come into the shop on Saturday, you'll see there's a lot pulled off the walls right now because we're trying to restructure a little bit. But thank you, I appreciate
I
that.
felt you like.
I just wanted it to feel like it had been there for a really long time. That's my goal.
The feeling when you walk into this coffee shop. I mean, I'm a coffee snob. I've been so many different coffee shops. I mean, I never felt that kind of feeling. Like
It's a nice vibe.
look, I was going
Thank
in there
you.
just
It really is.
to support you guys because you guys are my friends, right? And I walked in there. I mean, the feeling that you got when you walked in there. I mean, it was crazy. And I'm telling you, I've been to hundreds of coffee shops, and it's like I never felt that kind of feeling when I walked in a coffee shop.
That's
I mean,
a place to go out of your way to go find and relax and find relaxation.
And it's so much space. It's not clutter.
No.
No.
It's not. I mean, so many different ways.
And there's a front and a back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So
Yeah. It's almost 3,000 square feet of seating. Like we have a full kitchen in there too, but
Yep.
we have a lot of seating. So that's what I wanted, and I'm very grateful to be able to provide that. But the eclecticness, I just didn't want it to feel like, this is going to sound mean. Like the black and white and the subway tile that's so popular. So many
Yeah.
shops look and feel
Yep.
the same. I wanted it to feel like, honestly,
It's warm.
like Bully too. Like I would love to have a whiskey room in there.
A whiskey room?
Like a cigar and whiskey
Wow.
room,
Cigar
tucked
shop?
back
Oh, there you go.
Talking all
someplace.
language.
Okay, when you start picking cigars, can I make recommendations when we get to that point?
You got to get with Nate because that's his thing.
Okay, cool. Happy to do
Hey,
that
we
because
gotta
we
get
got to
some
cook
cigars with
ribeyes
Nate.
too.
Yeah,
And
ribeyes. But yeah, I would love to have I want that armchair with old leather bound book. Like that's what I want it to feel like.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
wow.
So I know usually the why is usually towards the last question, but I actually have two more.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead, Marcos.
I got two more. They just popped in my head. You got you're standing in the mirror right now, but on this side is you right now, and on the other side is the 12-year-old you.
Oh dear.
What would you tell the 12-year-old you right now?
Oh my gosh, what a wild ride. Beyond it gets better, which I think is something we can all say to our 12-year-old self, is trust in God's plan so hard that you do not get upset and distracted by the curveballs that get thrown to you.
Love that. Now you've got on the
That's a
other
good
side of
point.
that mirror, actually not a mirror, it's a window. Somebody who's just been inspired by you. They love your story, what you've done, but they don't know where to go or what to do. What do you want to tell them? That person that's just, wow, Tabitha, I want to be like her.
I'm here for you. Ask me anything. Been through the school of hard knocks. My goal is to just help people not go through some of the hard things that we did. So, and I really truly mean that. I have people reach out to me, and I will always tell you the secrets. I will always help you. But the biggest thing is don't be afraid to ask the questions, right? And imposter syndrome is real.
It is.
It is so real, especially when you're about to quantum leap forward in a business or a relationship or anything. Things are going to get in your head and tell you that you're not worthy and that you can't do it, but you can.
Yeah.
And you just got to push through and don't give up.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad we had you on this show.
Thank you.
Really?
I'm really happy for the invite.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been an awesome show. I mean, wow.
You got some questions that you've been brewing, sitting on for a while?
Yeah, you got that like that, brewing.
The
Brewing.
Yeah.
I like it.
I
Bully
like
Brew.
that.
Tabitha's been out here just crushing it for 8 years now.
8 years
8
almost,
years
yeah.
out here just crushing it, slaying all day.
And learning lessons.
Yeah,
Learning hard lessons.
but good ones.
But
right?
good ones.
But good ones. Yeah,
Yeah, for
No
sure.
losses, just lessons.
that's right.
That's another thing too, though. I think in business is staying a student. You are never done learning. You're never done learning.
At all, especially with the evolving world that we live in, with technology, with AI, with the new generations and what they want, because it's different than what you want or what I want or what he
Very.
wants, or she wants. You know?
Yeah, just don't drive. Learn while you're driving your truck in traffic. Like somebody did today. Don't do that, please.
Oh, no.
Please
Now,
don't.
now you're over here
Was
dry,
that somebody
dry
you?
snitching on me, huh?
Was
Oh,
that somebody
this was
you?
me this time.
Oh, oops. Here we
Yeah,
go.
don't do that.
Yeah, well,
I
anyways.
thought about that when I did that when I got home, and I was like, "Wow, I pulled a Marcos."
That's messed up, man.
You got a whole
I know. You just go and air it all out. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Tell them everything,
tell
Paul.
them.
2020.
Well, it's one secret that I learned about Marcos before the show, but I'm not gonna tell anybody. But
Thank you.
yes, I feel betrayed. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thought you were besties.
Oh, my God.
I thought you were besties.
All right. Well, I really, really appreciate you for coming on the show. I think it means a lot to us because we know you from out in the markets and just seeing you in action. And I think it's important that everyone hears your story and how you got to where you are. And we definitely want to see where you're going.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for all of us, man.
All right, before we get out of here, tell people where they can find your shop and then find you guys at, and tell where you're located.
Awesome. So the name is Bully Brew Co. And we are located at 99th Avenue and Northern Avenue, just west of the 101, which is
Yep.
Park West Shopping Center, right by Cardinal Stadium.
Yep.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yep. Before you go to your game, go stop in Bully Brew Co.
Absolutely. Hope to see you guys.
All right.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Yeah, this has been an awesome show. Everybody have a good night out there. Thanks for listening. Go follow us on social media, Instagram, and all that good stuff, and YouTube. And check us out on Spotify
Or YouTube.
or YouTube.
Or
you
both.
usually do this, Marco, so
That's right.
I was trying something different.
Thank you for trying.
I tried. Have a good night out there, y'all.
Good night.
See y'all.